Hi everyone, how's it going? Welcome to my final case study. As you can see, I have nothing behind me right now. Where I'm just making it work with what I got right now. Have my computer in front of me, screen recording. You will see my screen. I'll just appear in the bottom corner. Hopefully that'll work fine. I assume that it will. I don't see how we'll have any problems. Alright, so let's get started. Well, our problem here is GMC is trying to maximize their profit per item, trying to get the most bang for their buck in selling tablet computers. They're trying to determine what the best selling price and production level is to achieve this. So essentially, we're going to need to figure out how many we should be making in order to maximize our profit. Yes. Alright, our first step. To maximize our profit per item, we will need to determine our revenue, cost, and profit functions. These are all going to be very essential in the entire process. So we will start with the revenue function, and we can kind of use each function to figure the other ones out, basically. Alright, so let's start with our revenue function. To figure out our revenue function, we're going to need to first know our price demand function, which, as you can see here, is P of X equals 2000 minus 0.06x. So essentially the price demand function is how much we should be selling each, determined by, or how the price is affected by the demand of the market, basically. So to find the revenue function, all we are going to need to do is multiply the production level by the price demand function. So it's really easy. So all we will have to do is multiply the price demand function, which, as mentioned before, is 2000 minus 0.06x, and we will just multiply the whole thing by x, which is the production level in tablet computers. The x is equal to the amount of tablet computers in production. So additionally, our cost function is C of x equals 100,000 plus 250x, which is essentially just our cost for manufacturing these computers. So after we have figured both of those out, let's move on to the profit function. So to find our profit function, all we will need to do is subtract our cost function from our revenue function. Pretty easy, we just determined those in the last step. So as mentioned before, our new revenue function, the price demand function multiplied by the production level, which is x. So our revenue function is R of x equals x times 2000 minus 0.06x, and we will basically subtract that with our cost function, C of x equals 100,000 plus 250x. So essentially it's just R of x minus C of x, and you can see here what our final profit function is going to be. Alright, so as soon as we figured out our profit function, we can just move on right on to the next step. Here are just a couple of charts to illustrate the revenue and cost functions on a graph here. So as you can see, both are reasonably progressing in a reasonably linear fashion. They both appear to be going up, slightly curved, a little bit of curvature. We can see on the right, we have our table with all of the cost, revenue, and profit values based on the production level, which you can see there in the far left column. Now on the next slide, we have our profit function on the graph. Same thing as the other ones. Just kind of so you can visualize how, as we make more tablet computers, we're going up in production, up in profit, revenue, and cost. So as we can see from this, essentially, if we just wanted to make as much money as we possibly could, all we would really have to do is just make more and sell more. It's pretty simple, but that's not what GMC is trying to do. So the next step in our process of determining the highest average profit per item, we're going to need to basically come up with a formula to determine the average profit per item. It's very, very important that we know this, otherwise we would have no idea essentially how efficient our manufacturing and selling process is. So it's really simple. All we're going to have to do is divide our profit function, which we figured out in previous steps. We're just going to need to divide that by X, which is the production level. Really simple. Yes, okay, so we will move on. So here is, okay, so as you can see from this graph, we have not a linear function. We are actually, our peak is peaking around $1,260 for the average profit per item. So essentially what this means is as we go up in levels of production, you can see that on the x-axis. At first we go up in our average profit per item, which, you know, of course makes sense. We hit a certain point and then it starts to dip a little bit. And that point is approximately $1,260, and it's right around the 4,000 or 4,100 mark, as you can see from this table. On the right, it looks like we are right between 4,100 and 4,200 for our production level. And that's kind of where we hit our peak. So if we wish to maximize our average profit per item, ideally we would be in the 4,100 to 4,200 range for the production level. Yes, all right, so let's discuss what we have so far. So as we found out, as we manufacture more tablet computers, the cost and revenue will go up, as well as our profit. It's pretty close to a linear thing. So essentially we know that higher production will equal higher profit, but that's not exactly always what we're going for. You see, GMC is interested in maximizing the return on our investment, which means the average profit per item needs to be as high as possible. So as we have found out, and as you can see on this little table in the bottom right hand corner, a maximum profit per item occurs between 4,100 and 4,200. So around this range, we are sitting at around $1,260 for our average profit per item. Essentially, we're selling each computer for $2,000 and we're making $1,260 in profit. So, you know, ideally GMC should be focusing on a production level between 4,100 and 4,200 if they are trying to maximize their profit per item. So, here's the plan I recommend moving forward. So, as stated before, 4,200 tablet computers, you know, we're just going to round up in this scenario just to be on the safe side. So overall, we'll be looking at a cost of $2,050,000. The revenue generated will be about $7,341,600. So, you know, a lot more than the overall cost. So we'll be making plenty of profit. Profit will actually end up being around $5,291,600. And as calculated before, the average profit will end up being around $1,259.90 or $1,260 essentially, right around that range. Yeah, so, sorry, I think in my throat. So, we can look at this and we can just look at the numbers. But in reality, these tablet computers are going to be manufactured by real people. So there are certain ethical concerns we're going to need to take into consideration. Primarily, we need to think about our employees who are actually going to be manufacturing these machines. We need to think about these people's employment because these are real people, they need jobs. So we don't, you know, one option for us is manufacturing more products so that we are not being too conservative with the amount of products we're manufacturing, so that these people can have work to do and have a job so they can provide for their families. Conversely, we could lower the production value and have these people focus on other ventures, other things that we can put our money into, other lines of work, and this could just lead to an overall happier environment in the workplace if people are not just working all in the same thing and things are spread out a little bit. Right now we are not sure exactly what these employees would prefer, whether they would prefer essentially more work but with one item, or if they would prefer for us to cut back a little bit and maybe invest in some other things so that they can have a little more originality in their the work that they're doing. So I propose that we conduct a survey done on all employees, basically just to figure out what they would prefer doing, and so that we're not just making decisions for them, so that they are in charge of their own fate. I just think that would be the best move going forward. All right, that is all I have. Thank you. Any questions? All right, that is all. Thank you for listening.